Decimal numbers, adding and subtracting. What are they? Numbers that have a decimal point followed by digits. Why? Helpful to understand the number line, percentages, fractions. Helpful in determining weight and height. Interesting fact, a googolplex is the number 10 to the googol, or equivalently 10 to the 10 to the 100. Written out in ordinary decimal notation, it is 1 followed by 10 to the 100 zeros. That is a 1 followed by a googol zeros. Now you may be wondering what that is. So if one book had 10 to the 6 zeros, which is around 400 pages, to print out a googolplex would be 10 to the 94 books. There's not enough space on earth to do that. Okay? So, step 1, draw. Okay? When you're doing any type of question, you should always draw. What that means depends on the question. And in this question, it means to draw a number line. Step 2, cover the part given. And then step 3, count to 1.0. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first example, which is 4/10 plus something is equal to 1. So we're going to go ahead and change 1 to 1.0 to match the number line. You don't have to, but it is makes things the same. So let's go ahead and cover to 4/10. Now, if you want to do it this way, or just put your finger on 4/10, that is fine. So now we're going to count up. So we're going to go 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, and 6/10. So now we're at 1.0, so we're done, and that's your answer. Now, as you can see, what I just did, all I did was count by ones. Okay, but instead of the normal way of doing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like in the units, I did it in a different place value. In this case, it is the tenths. Okay, so let's take a look at example 2. We have 8/10 plus something is equal to 1. Change the 1 to 1.0 if you want. You don't need to. Now we're going to go ahead and cover to 0.8, and we're going to go ahead and count up to 1. So we get 1/10 and 2/10. And there's your answer, and there you have it. Now let's take a look at this time subtraction. So once again, change the 1 to 1.0 if you want, and this time we're going to pick pick 6/10, and we're going to work our way to 1. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and count up to 1, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. And then now your answer is 0.4. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last example for this type of case and change 1 to 1.0 if you want. And then we're going to go ahead and cover up to 7/10 and then count up to 1 and have 1/10, 2/10, and 3/10. And there's your answer, 3/10. Now let's take a look if we have another number in front of the decimal besides 0. So, once again, we're still the same process. We're going to pick a number on the number line, and then we're going to use the second number, first the tenths, and then the second the whole number, and then lastly write out the answer. So, let's follow. We've already done the step 1. Step 2 is put the number on the number line, and remember, sum is equal to add. So let's go ahead and put the number on the number line, 5.8. And this time we're adding, so we're going to go ahead and add the tenths to make our lives easier. 0.1, 0.2. Now we're at 6.0 or 6, and we need to add 4. So first things first, add the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our answer for this one is 10. Okay, so let's take a look at another example with different numbers. So we're going to find the sum of 4.7 and 2.3. Once again, remember sum is add, so we're going to pick 4.7 as our starting number and work our way up on the number line. So once again, we're going to add the tenths first because it'll be easier to add a whole number. So we're going to add 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Where did I get that 0.3? From the 2.3. Well, now we're at 5, okay? And so we still have to add that 2 because we haven't done anything with it. So now we're at 5, so we go to 6. And then we go to 7, and there's your answer, 7.0. Now let's take a look if we have to do subtraction. So subtract 5.2 from 10. So in this particular case, we're going to go ahead and start with 10 and work our way down. This is the opposite of what we did in the previous examples when we were subtracting, so it will show you that either case works. So in this particular case, it's going to be easier to get rid of the whole number. So if we're going to subtract 5.2, the whole number is 5. So we're going to subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're at 5.0, so which is the right side of your screen. So now you can go ahead and subtract 0.2. So let's go 0.1, 0.2. So that means we're at 4.8, and that is your answer. And let's do one more example, but this time we have the word difference in there, and it's still the same. Okay, we're still going to start at 10. We're still going to, remember difference is minus, okay? We're still going to start off at 10, and then we're going to work our way backwards. In this particular case, we're going to work backwards of 3 because that's the whole number of the other number. So we do 1, 2, and 3, or 3.0, same thing. And then now we're at 7. And now we need to work with the tenths. So we need to subtract 4 tenths. Or now all we have to do is count backwards by 0.4. So 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths, and 4 tenths. So that means our answer is 6.6 or 6 6/10. So now we have those two examples. Okay, now it is your turn. So go ahead and answer these 8 questions. You should go ahead and pause the screen so you can take the time to answer these questions. And I'm going to show you the answers in 3, 2, and 1. Here are the answers. If you got them correct, well done. If you didn't, there is always tomorrow.